Hey everybody, it's Party Elite here with an early look at Surviving Mars, the upcoming city building or colony building game from Hemimont Games. I'm a huge fan of city building games and space as well, especially the whole idea of colonizing Mars and things like that, all those conversations that are happening. So I consider myself lucky enough to actually get early access to this so that I could share it with you. And we're going to dive into a new game here today, but I have been playing a little bit, getting myself familiar with the systems and exactly how this works. I'm especially excited for all the mods that are, or the modding potential that exists for a game like this. So we'll get into that as we go along. We're gonna kick off a new game. I'll show you how it all sets up. But if you're not interested in setups and you're not interested in managing money and resources before things start, you can always hit easy start, and that just launches you to Mars with a preordained location and things like that. So there's an easier way to do this. If you're not interested in my own setup here, I'll have a timestamp in the description down below so you can skip it. If you are interested, then let's dive right into it. Now, first things first, you pick a mission sponsor. Each of these sponsors has a different difficulty, as you can see, and they all have different traits. One that I actually find kind of funny is that with China, applicants are generated twice as fast, which means there are more people on Earth that are willing to come to Mars faster. So I think that one's gets a chuckle out of me. So each one of these has their own benefits, and as a result of that, they have their own pitfalls as well, or you can go with random. Now, just for this Let's Play, I think we're going to go with the International Mars mission. It gives us a nice sum of funding to start things with, so we'll be able to explore and discover more things. We're not, tied down by wealth, which is obviously annoying. Now, here as well with the commander profile, there are multiple options. As you can see, there's like bonus tech, different technology options or different benefits or, again, pitfalls that come with picking any one of these. So we're going to go with random here, I think, just to make things a bit more interesting. It is nice to start with an extra rocket. That's the rocket scientist. That's the basic one that you start with. Let's go with random, and I'll explain how rockets work in just a moment. As for colony logo, I'm a big fan of, well, some of these are pretty good. The Mr. Handy is pretty cute. Serenity is a nice homage, but I am a big fan of One Small Step. I'll show you what the other ones look like real quick. The Paradox one actually looks great in the treatment over here, but I'm a big fan of One Small Step. Looks absolutely glorious. As for the mystery, we can pick a storyline. You can go with no storyline for this mission, but let's go with random just so we can, again, experience a little bit of everything. Let's hit next, and now we pick our first rocket. So, fun thing is you can actually name all the rockets, all the domes, everything that is happening on Mars can be renamed. So we're definitely going to be taking advantage of that. Now, on these rockets, as they arrive, they will bring various things with them. Prefab buildings, rovers. I'll explain all this as we get along, of course. The prefab buildings, we've got a drone hub coming. We've got a moisture vaporator. So drone hubs give me access to more drones, and those are the guys that are going to work on things before colonists arrive, and they do all the construction work and things like that. Moisture vaporator just takes air and turns it into water. Not super efficient, but if you don't have an underground source, then that'll be helpful. The Stirling Generator generates power without the need for wind or sunlight. So we'll take two of those. That all sounds good to me. Down here, we've got a rover coming with us, and that helps us extend the range of drones as it can control drones remotely as well. We've got the Explorer here that's useful for finding anomalies, and again, we'll discover all this stuff as we go along, but anomalies help with research and things like that. The transport itself helps move materials. Might get rid of that for something else. Actually, it can be quite helpful early on. The drone, we'll take 6 drones with us. That's great. These guys, again, they're the builders. They're the workers before anybody arrives. They have their limitations, though, as to what they can produce. Concrete, metals. These are things you'll find on Mars, and you'll be able to dig them out or, collect them otherwise. Whereas polymers, machine parts, electronics, these things have to be built by people or produced by mixing multiple components. So it does get pretty complex, and you have to get prefab buildings that allow you to make machine parts, electronics, and polymers. So that's where the extra rockets come in, delivering passengers or more prefabs and more materials. So we're going to go in with some polymers, some machine parts, electronics is all good, and some orbital probes as well. That'll be very helpful to start us off. So we're going to click next here, and now we get to pick a landing spot. And there are a few predetermined landing spots, as you can see. We can go to one of these, and they've got various stats, again, predetermined stats, but I like to sort of look around, hold right click, and just move around a little bit and find a nice spot which has a decent amount of resources across the board. Actually, that's amazing. That's got full bars for metal, concrete, and water, but it is significantly more dangerous as well. Dust storms, meteors, and cold waves. That's maybe the worst sight I've ever seen. So maybe we go with it, because it's got a lot of materials. It's a little risky though. Let's see. Let's see anything with a little less risk in the neighborhood. No, this is a very dangerous part of Mars. You know what? What's life without a couple risks, especially when you're the first colony on a new planet, right? Let's kick this off. So we're gonna dive right in again. You can pick a random location, and of course, based on that look at Mars, you kind of have an idea of what to expect in terms of terrain. So everyone at Mission Control is impatient to see the rocket touching down and unloading its precious cargo. Our remotely controlled eyes and hands on the red planet, the drones and rovers. Our goal is to secure a foothold for humanity by building the first Martian dome. This daunting endeavor will allow the brave pioneers, the founders, to settle on Mars and prove that the colony is sustainable. But until then, we have to make sure the colony has enough construction resources, water, oxygen, and power. So Mars Mission is sponsoring us, and we have a hydro engineer as our commander. Close that. Now, first things first, actually, I'm going to get rid of all these hints. You have to go into options, you have to go into gameplay, I believe, and then hints. Let's turn those off. They're on by default. Cool. Think that should have done the trick there? We'll see. Yeah, there we go. Excellent. So, first things first, you can see a zone that has already been scanned for you to land on. You don't have to land on that. I like to not land on that. Instead, that's why I take these orbital probes. So before landing, I can actually use these probes and start scanning. So you tap X to start scanning as you hover over these various locations. So there's some water over here, which is good. Let's actually take a look at this zone over here. Okay. Let's get a full scan over here. So that's just water. And let's maybe get a nice scan. Let's see, I'm trying to figure out where I want to plant myself, because here I have access to concrete easily, which is very important for construction. Hoping to find some more concrete. Excellent. Oh, that's an amazing spot there. We've got concrete, water, 2 anomalies, and rare metals, which you can use to either make electronics or export back home to bring in more funding. So let's get our Party 1 rocket headed down here, not over here. Let's zoom out a little bit, and let's see. Now, as you can see, there's that little ring around this rocket. That is where the command extends to. The remote control drones can only work in a region within that blue border. So the thing is, it's nice to keep it tucked away in the corner over here, but a lot of that region is being wasted in these mountains that I can't actually build on. Let's go right here, I think. Gives us a decent spread, doesn't look too ugly. All right, there we go. Sure. Important first decision, but we've got water nearby, we've got concrete nearby, and we've got plenty of space to start building our colonies and our regions. Unfortunately, there's no metal nearby, which is a little worrisome. Oh, we're about to miss our landing. Let's not do that. There we go. Party 1. Let's touch down. There we go. Now this little bay is going to open up. Everyone's going to roll on out, and we're going to get to work right away. Now, first things first. Hit M, get out over here, and queue up some regions to scan. We want to scan some sectors and make sure we can find some metal as quickly as possible. Actually, let's scan this region over here. So here, here, here. Get those areas scanned. Let's see if we can't find any metal to keep ourselves operational. Next thing is to get some concrete going. We're going to have these guys unload a lot of resources. We're going to get some concrete going. Let's move these guys out of the way over here, and let's extend our reach again. So this rover over here has its own range of control, as you can see, so I can extend the range of control between these two guys. There's not really much to do. I'm trying to find some metal. There are surface deposits, so you don't always have to go digging for metal, but you know what? This isn't looking... Oh, there we go. There's some metal down there. So what we can do is actually have the transport, because that one's a little far away. So let's get the transport, work on that. Wow, there's... This could be a little rough of a start, actually, without any metal nearby. Hopefully we find some underground deposits, because metal is important. On that note, though, let's start building some things. We've got storages, which is where you actually get things off the rocket ship and onto the ground, or off from, you know, concrete deposits and stuff and onto the ground somewhere. So let's get ourselves a couple of depots here. Concrete depot is going to be over here, which is a region of concrete. Well, first let's get ourselves paused and planning. I like to plan my approaches. Over here we're going to have our energy hub. All of our energy production is going to take place over there, so let's plan this out right now. We're going to get these power cables, and power cables actually have to run through your entire colony. They don't just transfer power between buildings that touch like you might expect from many city building games, so you actually have to have these cables touching everything that's supposed to generate power. Now what I'm going to do, and what I like to do, is plan out my construction and then tell everything to not be built, because that way I can plan for space. I hate, and this is something that gets in the way with this game, is uneven terrain, things like that. They get in the way of making a perfectly clean settlement at times. Okay, we'll be able to pull around up top there with the power cable. There we go. No. Let's get this done nice and neat. There we go. Okay. And then we'll have a couple more over here, I think. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to build these. But like I mentioned, we brought with ourselves a nice little tool that means we don't need these. So we're going to deactivate all of these. We don't have to build any of these just yet. We've got these Stirling Generators that we're going to use first. The Stirling Generators will build over here and over here. Let's get them both going right away. This has all been canceled, so we can cancel these as well. Again, I don't need to build anything immediately. This is more just so that I have my plans laid out, and let's not waste resources where we don't need to just yet. Again, these things all take resources to build. We've got a limited supply to start with, so make sure you're not building anything you don't actually need. And we also are going to need power accumulators. These are basically batteries that'll store all the energy that we get from solar power, so that when the sun has set, we don't have to worry about where the energy is coming from. These Stirling Generators are all right, but once the colony gets bigger, they're not going to sustain the entire colony, of course. So we're going to have, this is our power hub over here. It'll probably spread around this mountain over here, out of the way. And over here, we're going to have our production of concrete. So let's get this concrete extractor. I'll try to get as much coverage as possible over here. That'll probably do the trick. 315, cool. Let's get that going. And now I got to get the power cable coming in as well. Now, the water, we should probably get water working soon as well. So let's get power first figured out. It'll come down here. I want to try and get a nice clean split. Again, I like keeping things nice and neat. Oh boy, I do like how the cables curve. Let's get our water extraction. Unfortunately, I do have this moisture evaporator, but it will be a little wasted. One machine part, or rather 2 machine parts and 6 pieces of concrete to build the water extractor, and I've got a prefab for the moisture evaporator. So those are the decisions that need to be made. I need to build a Moxie to get oxygen, and that costs metal. So they're not really overlapping there, so we can get the water extractor going. And what I like to do is I like to get a lot of surplus when it comes to... there. I like to get a lot of surplus when it comes to water and oxygen, because you never know. You never know. Well, I do know. I've had a couple of rough experiences. Okay, so we'll get concrete, water going basically right away. This guy's going off to get metal. Let's get our RC Explorer here investigating this anomaly. And these guys are going to be able to help build. Everything's within this region, so we're going to be able to help build everything. Let's actually move this so that the zone covers all the construction that needs to be done. And let's also get some research going. So a lot of stuff to do to kick this... to kick the planet off, basically. And you can see we've got a lot of options, and the order of these things are actually randomized for each tree. So, for example, you might not always get magnetic filtering early on. Now, this increases oxygen production, but there's a while before I'll need that, so that can wait. Decommission protocols for salvaging destroyed goods. This is nice. For transport, low G turbine. Okay, that'll help my wind turbines. That's not really necessary. This increases research provided. So, you know what? Let's start with this instead. Do this second, and then we'll queue these up. And as we get further down these trees, I might want to reorganize the orders over here. But the first thing we do is speed up how quickly we actually get research done, which is going to be very helpful. You can see the research per sol over here, based on various factors. And sol is, of course, the amount of time. Like, a day is 1 sol on Mars, right? So... let's see, I've got concrete coming, I've got water coming. I think I'm able to, let's get to normal speed. I want to try and get colonists arriving this session. Let's see if we can get that far in this one session. So we're going to need, this is sort of going to be the production area for all automated services. We're going to have water coming up over here. We're going to get oxygen going on over here as well, in this region somewhere, maybe once we clear up that anomaly. Because then what I can do is I can use pipes I wish there was a middle zoom. I could use pipes to extend our, water and oxygen over to these areas where we'll actually start building the domes. So once we explore these, hopefully we're not going to cover anything up. Let's speed it up a notch more. And let's get some storage going. So a lot of these places, for example, the concrete extraction, will have waste. And the waste needs to be put into dumping sites. And again, this is all done by drones. So you need to make sure that the drones are within the area of influence of both the dumping site and where the garbage is coming from. So again, this is sort of our production area, so I don't really mind about how, or care about how beautiful this area looks. This will largely be dealt with by drones anyway, so that's fine. Let's get ourselves a concrete depot right next to this bad boy, or actually no, let's get ourselves a universal depot outside the rocket here. Make sure we're unloading everything. Come on. And let's also get a, where are we? There's the option to find, there we go, a sensor tower helps us find or explore nearby sectors faster. So let's get that going right away. The Universal Depot will just, milestone achieved, and only new techs are available for research. So anomalies have various boons. This one gave us, or unlocked for us more tech. Some of them will give us faster research, or it'll help us accomplish research, things like that. So they all have various benefits. Now, as I was mentioning, the sensor tower here helps us scan nearby sectors more quickly. As you can see, I'm trying to get these areas scanned so we can find, hopefully, a metal deposit, because without a metal deposit, we will have some serious trouble. We will have some serious trouble. Metal is essential. I was promised lots of resources in this area. I was lied to. That's not promising. We'll be fine, I'm sure. All right, these guys are not working. Are we all out of metal? We don't have enough metal here, so let's get you only 22 pieces of metal. This is what I mean. Metal is extremely important. I was promised more metal. Let's unload the resources over here so these guys can start building, and let's go looking for more metal. Surely there's got to be some nearby. This could be quite problematic. I think I remember there being some up top over here while I was putting these structures down. All right. This is a rough start, guys. So you can see now that they have access to all that metal, they're able to actually start building and getting the colony going, which is extremely helpful. Thank you, drones. Oh boy. The first thing we're going to have to do is get a metal extractor going. If we can even find metal. Okay, there's a nice big chunk there. So let's get our drone over here, our rover rather, into this region. There's a fair number of metal deposits over here, so that'll last us a little while. Let's get these guys, let's get this guy over here. So you'll see what happens is these drones, they all just ride up into this little rover over here, because those are the drones under its control, and it's going to move down, and it'll only be able to control these drones within that region. So what I want to do is find an overlapping zone where I can put down a depot for metal. So it looks like this will have to be it over here, lined up with these guys. So let's get ourselves storage for metal over here. Let's get a couple of these down. Yeah. So that way, what happens, what we're hoping to do is, oh boy, it might just be too far, actually, which would be troublesome. Yeah, there's no happy middle ground here, it seems. That's too bad. So ideally what would happen is they'd pick up the metal over here and they'd drop it in a place that overlaps. Unfortunately, though, that doesn't seem to be the case. Let's get some more in here. I wonder if that borders... No, it's really far, actually. That is really quite far. And I need to have a metal depot within reach for these guys to
sector scanned.
Actually use... to actually go and get the metal. So that's going to be interesting. That's going to be interesting. Let's zoom out. Let's go after some more anomalies. And while that's happening, we might want to get a drone hub going. Now, the drone hub has a much greater range. So what we might want to do is build a drone hub here so we have access to these metals. But there really isn't all that much. Damn, this is not my best start. We've got some concrete coming, which is nice, of course. We should probably build a stack. This will be our storage stack, I guess. we'll have these guys overlap afterwards. So a drone hub, which is over here, as you can see, has a much greater range of coverage. So I can actually put this over here, and we can cover our ground here. Might not be a bad idea. It'll reach all the metal deposits over here. Get it closer to the water as well. That'd be great. Too far from a drone commander. I'm aware of that. Let's see. If we pop it down over here, that'll cover the resources on both sides. We'll get that water access as well when necessary. We've got the dumping grounds, and we have the metal depots as well as these actual resources. So let's drop it down over here. They'll get to building that. We also need to get the power coming in from up top. So let's get these power cables working. And again, I have to actually connect it to the main grid over here. This is where it gets, this is where things get messy. This is where things get really messy. I hate ugly layouts. I hate them so much. All right, we'll be fine. We'll carve around this mountain over here. There we go.
Anomaly
Go up
analyzed.
and around the mountain. Okay. Through these dumping grounds. Well, that's not going to work for me. There we go. Through the dumping grounds. There. Oh boy, that's gonna... Ooh. That's gonna kill me.
There's more to the barren environs of the Red Planet than meets the eye. A veritable treasure trove of undiscovered knowledge and wonder. So long as you know where to look.
I do like the voice. All right, so as you can see, we've been finding more and more research options without actually completing the initial research that I needed to do. So a lot of these options have opened up for us. Ooh, breakthrough. Rocket travel time to and from Earth reduced by 50%. That's not bad. Not in a rush for that, though. However, I wouldn't mind getting... Let's see. Drone hubs are constructed with additional 2 drones. I'm not going to be able to get that done in time. Let's see. We could get the polymer factory going, so we don't need to actually order a prefab when the time comes. That's not bad, actually. Might want to reconsider my order here. Let's get that next. And then this gives us a farm, which we'll want... By the time we get there, hopefully we'll have people arriving. That'll be nice. And let's pop back to this. Cool. Just rearranged our research there a little bit. Now this water will hopefully start... Okay, so the water started coming up, but I need somewhere to store said water. Let's get these water towers going. And let's just see. So these 2 are back here. So let's get a water tower just over here. And let's get a moisture evaporator over here as well. Like I said, I like excess. Go over here instead.
Sector scan.
And then what we can do is get another water tower going. Over here. That way we have 2 separate water towers. We'll connect them eventually. Oh, good, we found some metal. Really, that's it? Well, at least it's within this, within reach, so that's good. I really hate this power cable. That thing's gonna drive me wild. I might need to, like... That's gonna drive me absolutely crazy. But you can see they're now dropping metal off over here. I'd probably rather they drop it off over here, so what we're gonna do is we're going to decommission these. They're gonna leave an ugly stain, which is unfortunate, but I'll have to deal with it. So all that metal will need to be carried over here. So let's get this transport, picking up some of this metal, dropping it off over here so it's organized and neat. And then it can go picking up some more metal at these various deposits that are over here. So the initial zone that was scanned had a fair bit of metal, but it did not have any water, which is unfortunate. There's a lot of metal in this region, so we might need to use that transporter a fair bit. All right, let's pick this up as well and just drop it in this area here so we're able to share resources. And the concrete, so yeah, there's a lot of production going on, but you need to store all this stuff. And right now they're using the universal depot over here. But if this place gets fully stacked, they'll actually stop production. So let's get the concrete depot built down over here as well. Again, I want to try and make these guys, put these guys next to each other rather, so they're able to share resources. So there's a bit of overlap. There's a lot of overlap, which is good. That's excellent. Let's get them going up over here with the concrete depot. Beautiful. Beautiful. Now let's get some pipes going as well. Thank God we've got more metal nearby than I initially thought. That would have been absolutely terrible. All right, so let's get this pipe over here. And let's get this pipe. Well, let's let that finish building first. And both of these things are going to work well together. And these things, again, they don't need to be on just yet. They don't need to be built just yet. We have enough power. Hourly production is 20. Total demand is 20. Or hourly production is 10.
Anomaly analyzed.
Individually, while the grid as a whole, you can see over here is 2020. Sorry, got distracted here. So this sector has a lot of metal as well, and we have a vehicle with low battery. This bad boy needs to come back. It's very low on battery. Let's get you back here and charging up on one of those power cables. Good to see a lot of metal in this zone, though. That's a lot of metal. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Not so worried anymore. All right, select another sector to scan. I wish we could find a metal deposit, though. That would be excellent. Let's try that. Let's see if any of these have any metal deposits. All right, there we go. So this is all going smoothly. All going smoothly. Over here, we've got resources being collected over here. Let's move all the concrete down, actually. So you over here, let's get the concrete in a more central location. That way we're able to share the load between up top and down here. And this probe now isn't doing anything because, of course, this is giving us maximum coverage. So let's get you... Well, where could you go that's actually useful? Let's fall back over here, help with construction and things like that. No power over here. So we're running out of power now. We are low on energy. So maybe we start building some of these. And if you're going to build solar panels, you're going to want power accumulators. Just because if you don't have a battery, then at nighttime, it's all for naught. So let's get these cables going as well. Excellent. So we'll get that first batch or that first battery or whatever you want to call it of solar panels going. And you can drop your concrete off over here, buddy. Thank you very much. All right, all right. Slowly working towards a sustained system here. Let's get... Oh boy, let's get it on the outside. This is not my neatest colony. I think I'm under pressure to perform here. I prefer having extremely neat and clean colonies, and this has already broken that for me. But we'll be okay. We'll be fine. It's not the end of the world. Plenty of metal down here and here. Okay, excellent, excellent, excellent. All right, problem solved. Problem solved. Now this still doesn't have enough power. Once these solar panels get built, we're going to start storing more. And you can see water stores pretty quickly, so we're going to need more of these water towers, actually. And I want to get a Moxie going as well, just to make sure we've got oxygen generating, and we can get those first colonists in here, rather, as soon as possible. So let's get some more storage going. Finally connect these when those towers are done. And the Moxie can actually sit over... we could plant it down over here. When the Moxie gets dusty, it stops working as effectively, which is a problem. Let's actually see if there are any anomalies to check out. Nope, no anomalies. So the Explorer can stay put for now. We'll move him out a little bit. But if we put the Moxie down over here, this can be our oxygen and water supply area. Now you always want to have backups. Think about your hard drive and all the data on your hard drive, all your save game files and stuff. You want those backed up? Now think about your oxygen and your water supplies. You want those backed up even more. So let's put this at this crossroads over here. If we can make this dense enough, then the messiness can be hidden, right? It's a good way to tackle ugliness, is to just say that it's intentional. And let's get these guys lined up as well. So this is the oxygen tank. Much like the water tower holds water, the oxygen tank holds, wait for it, oxygen. All right, research complete, Earth-Mars initiative. Let's just take a look over here. What are we doing next? Transport optimization. Cool, so the transport harvest resources faster. That's not bad at all. Not bad at all. We'll get that going. And then polymers are very important, but they do need people. So we'll consider that when the time comes. When the next piece of research is completed, we'll consider our options there. And let's get some oxygen tanks going down. Here and here. I don't think we'll need another Moxie. I might get another one if I'm not able to fill this up before we're ready for our first colonists. But I think we should be fine. These things will get built as well. Need a little bit of metal, so I think we're waiting on that to arrive. You, buddy, you need to go and pick up some metal from these far-off lands and bring those in. Cool. Concrete is producing at a decent rate, I suppose. Oh, there's a nice metal deposit here as well. How did I miss that deposit? So let's take care of that first, because it is out of my reach. It'll be out of this guy's reach as well. Maybe not. Let's test. Only one way to find out. Only one way to find out. So night has fallen now, and you can see these solar panels have closed. And I don't even have enough power stored in my battery, so we might start dropping. No, I think we're just all right. Just okay. And the reason why I want to get a polymer factory ASAP is because, as you can see, it is necessary for the maintenance of a variety of buildings. We've got the power accumulator here. These things just need metal, so that's good. But if I'm not mistaken, this needs electronics. Like there's some high-end pieces of equipment that you need. Ooh, lots of concrete over here. In order to maintain your colony. I just want to make sure that we're doing a decent job of that. All right, so that'll get built over there. I'm wondering if I want to keep these apart. Just for the purpose of having... I mean, this isn't the ideal backup situation, but if like a meteor shower or something happens and it takes one of these out, I want to make sure that everything doesn't fall apart. You know, one pipe shouldn't control the entire water supply of an entire colony. But I don't think we're going to be big enough soon enough to make that matter. Oh, we're just out of reach, are we? That's too bad. That's too bad. Okay, not the end of the world. Let's get some more pipes going, just to make sure the oxygen is actually going to be collected when it's time to collect it. There we go. These pipes, they do look a little messy when they get built, but it'll be fine. Not the end of the world. Move you a little bit further up so that that construction zone is within our reach. There we go. That should be good enough. And then we've got our Explorer over here. Has a limited capacity, so I do need to keep an eye on it. What I could do is I could make a transport route. Load resources there, and unload resources over here. And that should do the trick. We'll keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on it to make sure it doesn't just stop working halfway through. All right. All right. We need one more piece of metal here. Let's kick it up to 3-speed. Oh, looks like we're not actually connected over here. That's a shame. What's going on? Built this in the wrong zone. Not gonna be able to live this down. Not gonna be able to live that down at all. That's okay. That's okay. It's the first colony. We're allowed to have it be a little messy. Okay, there comes the Moxie. So now we're going to start generating oxygen. Again, this thing needs 2 metal to stay clean. And you can actually see dust accumulating on some of these goods here. Now, the water towers, I don't think it really matters if they get dirty, but if they fall apart, that's obviously a problem. The Moxie and the Stirling Generators, if they get dirty, that's a bit more of a problem. And the thing about the Stirling Generators is, and I really like this animation, it's so sci-fi, you can open them to generate more power. But then they start getting dirty as the actual generator in there starts to collect dust. So you want to make sure that that's not happening. All right, we've got oxygen, we've got water. We don't have food, but food is brought by the rocket when it arrives. Let's see, how much water do we have? Collecting minimum flow. Well, once this gets filled up, which will be soon, I think, we'll be fine. This is almost full. These two are almost filled up. We've got plenty of water there, and when that runs out, we've got this water source as well. This will be a nice hub for resources. It would have been a nice hub for resources. How are we doing? Bad boy. Moving back and forth, dropping off metals. Yeah, looks like it. Excellent. All right, so now that that's happening and we've got all this set up, we might actually get our first set of colonists coming in, guys. Where do we want to put them down? So again, these pipes have to go across the colony. What we might actually want to do first is get some more of these built, just to make sure we've got power to support, you know, housing structures and things like that. All right, so we'll get that round built, and let's get this built as well. And this is actually full, so let's get this built too. You want to be ready for nightfall and for the worst possible situations.
Sector scanned.
Ooh, a lot of concrete in this area. I would like a metal deposit, please. The interesting challenge about, you know, surviving Mars is structuring your colony and then adapting to the discovery of resources. It's a nice variable that we don't often get, I would say, in city building games. Often it's, you know the obstacles you have outside of a, you know, meteor or a dinosaur invading your city. The terrain itself is a constant, basically. Whereas with this, it's evolving because of the resources that you need. I think we're ready to put down our first dome. We might want to put it down maybe somewhere up over here. This metal deposit over here, that'll help construct it potentially. I don't want it to be too close to the concrete over here. That's kind of nasty. We can put them over here.
Battery low.
Around these parts. Nice mountainside view. All right, let's drop these off and then let's recharge. I mean, looking to the side of a mountain, I don't know how nice of a view that actually is. All right, let's recharge you, buddy. Or we could go all the way up here. That's really far away. That's a lot of pipe to lay down. Alternatively, they could be looking over this ridge over here. There's a little bit of trash. I'm very picky with the comfort of my colonists. Yeah, I could drop the rocket down over here and build our first dome over here. Give it a nice view over this canyon. You know, they'll get to see.
Research complete.
It's mountains off in the distance. Oh, you know what? I should actually stop this before it goes any further. This is not what I need. Let's get those farms coming in first. 400, eh? Cool, that should move pretty fast. If I could get farms to supply food before I need to build anything else, that'd be great. So yeah, I'd say the view from here is pretty neat. You got these mountains off in the distance, a nice little... You'll see some water production going on. That's not the dirtiest thing. Off to the side there, you'll see a little bit of concrete being done, but, you know, that's what you get for being the first colonist. You have to deal with the rougher parts of a city. All right, let's do that. So we're going to build our first dome. We're getting there pretty quickly, maybe a little too quickly. Let's just make sure we've filled up on water here. We're full. We're full. Yeah, see, these are all filled up, and I think I do want to keep these apart, actually. So let's get a little bit more life support going on over here. Let's put you over... Try and keep this neat and organized. Let's put you over here, and you over here. There we go. And let's get our dome going on over here. So the thing about domes is, well, actually, this is a useless area. The thing about domes is they have an area where they can work. So for example, if I were to put a dome down here, you see that ring around it? That's where I can put down, oh, well, let me select a sector here real quick. That's where I can put down more structures that have to actually have employees, people that work, you know, extractors, for example. There's nothing here for me to take advantage of that way. And while it's a beautiful site, that's not ideal for the colony. You know, and the first thing we have to consider is the colony and the success of the colony. Over here, we can get some of these rare metals, and these rare metals can be used to make electronics, or they can be used to make money by sending the metals back to Earth. So let's try and find a nice view over here, and maybe like, this isn't a bad spot actually. We can still keep them next to the this giant hole in the ground over here, this crater. Wish I could, there we go. Camera controls are a little wonky. All right, so if we get the basic dome down over here, it's not too bad, I would say. We'll have the pipes coming in from up north. There's another source of water if we'll need it, and right at the edge we'll have the extractor. The extractors look pretty hideous, so something to keep in mind. All right, that'll be fine.
Cable fault reported.
All right, so let's get this going, and we'll deal with that malfunctioning cable. Cool. Let's get that going over here. Have a decent view. That's within reach. These metals will help construct it, and this drone hub will be able to build this. I need some concrete, I need some metals, and I need some polymers. Hopefully we have enough polymers, actually. Yeah, we've got just enough. Just enough. Oh, boy. That would have been bad. All right, malfunctioning cable. This will sort itself out. You see, we've already got a drone there hopping on it to take care of it, but you can see it is actually costing us some power. So you want to keep on top of those things. Make sure that you're not losing power when you don't need to. All right, these things are filling up pretty fast. Let's take a look at how they perform overnight, though. Make sure they don't run out. All right, this is helping clean this stuff up. We can move you... I actually don't know where this is going to provide us with the best support, really. Well, we can move them down here, and they can help build the pipes that are going to go down south from here. Ooh, a new anomaly. Excellent. Something for my explorer to go and check out. While the transport here, you're not doing anything. Let's get you transporting metal again. So load resources from here and drop them off over here. Wow, we actually have... Sorry, I meant to do this. There we go. And there we go. We've got a lot of metal built up, actually. Still not nearly all of it, but a lot of it is building up. And down here, this dome is going to be built. And that power cable that I hate so much is going to be extremely important for the colony. Can we make this any neater? I could run this around the side there. It doesn't look as terrible. Wish I hadn't done this, though. Oh, boy. It's going to kill me. It's going to kill me. All right. Let's get a cable running.
The analysis tells us that we've found iridium-rich sulfides. That's a real rarity on Earth.
Nice. All right, so mankind's ingenuity had found a myriad of applications for it, but we focused our plan on a much simpler, more vital role in our growing colony, RTGs, free energy for everyone. So tech boost 10% to all physics tech. Excellent. I'm glad I checked that thing out. So yeah, if we run the power around here and then down, what'll actually happen is, let's see, where's the rare metal extractor? Let's pause the game here. Let's plan ourselves a little bit. I like pausing and planning, as you guys can probably tell. So if we put this down here eventually, right, we can get the power supply coming. It's not going to be close enough. Not going to be close enough. Let's try this the other way around. If we get the power supply going this way, and then turning around to come down here, and we get the extractor over here, that'll do the trick. Yeah, any of these spots will give me the same amount of resources. So let's drop this down over here. We'll shut it off for now. We don't need it right away. Let's get this dome going first. And we'll be able to build, you know, like fungal farms and stuff like that in these regions. We also need to build polymer factories. Those have to be built outside, but they need, I think, fuel. And the fuel refinery is automated, but it needs water and oxygen, I think, or just water. So it gets pretty complicated, but we've got some good hubs going on. Let's kick it back up to full speed. Let's get this dome going, and let's get those colonists arriving. All right, we finished analyzing this one. That's great. Scanning this sector over here next. A lot of rare metal deposits over here, which is nice. Wow, this one's already been taken care of, eh? All right, we'll drop that load off, and then we'll clear out the metal over here, so we're traveling a smaller distance. And this rover... Right, let's move you over here. And let's actually get some of these things cleaned up. It's trying to bother me. We've got plenty of metal, so we can actually clean these things up. This needs to be cleaned up for sure. These things are okay for now. This also, if it gets too dusty, as you can see, it's not actually going to work soon if it doesn't get cleaned. But it's already, a drone is already on the way, so they automate that stuff, which is nice. Ooh, random anomaly. Let's get our explorer in here. So they automate those things when they get really bad, but you do want to keep your eyes on it. All right, let's keep you charged over here, and let's get that construction going. If I'm able to build some pipes straight down... Pause that. Let's get our life support pipes going. Now I can get one going straight down from here. Well, not straight down because hexes. Dear Lord, hexes. I could go up and across over here. Go really far into the mountains. It's not the most efficient. Or we can just follow this line over here, and that way this actually becomes a bit of a supply line. Wouldn't kill me. That wouldn't kill me. Alright, so let's go. Let's do that. Let's pull this up over here, and I don't think I can build here because of uneven terrain, so we have to go over. Well, I committed to this, so I'm gonna have to hold to that commitment. All right, so there we go. There's our water coming through from one of these. These guys are just gonna hold, eh? I might connect them afterwards. But I also need my oxygen to come through. We'll have another oxygen tank over here, but from here, we can connect down to here. Alternatively, I could go up this way. We can get another oxygen tank going. Are these both full? Almost. We're not generating enough. As soon as we start consuming, I think these will probably be enough, at least for the early phases of the colony. We might need another Moxie on the other side, but that can wait. So you know what? There. That'll be our supply line over there. Cool. Cool. I think I can live with this without wanting to destroy this colony. Alright. Let's speed this up all the way. We've got the resources being collected. So you can see in the center here, we've got resources being collected. Still need a lot of concrete, some decent number of metals, but we have the drone hub here with its 4 out of 20 drones. So you know what? We might actually want to move some of the drones from Party 1 over to that drone hub. So I can just click this reassign button and assign it to that drone hub. Same thing goes for the RC Rovers drones, really. They're not the most effective. So let's reassign some of these drones. You there. You've been reassigned. And again, we can rename all of these. Oh, that's not good. So Mars is infamous for its large and sometimes quite lengthy dust storms, which raise so much dust that they can be seen with telescopes from Earth. While the wind speeds reached during these storms are not quite dangerous, taking into consideration that Mars' atmosphere is about 1% of Earth's, the sheer amount of dust rays can knock field machinery out of order until fixed. So Moxies and moisture vaporators, they do not work at all during dust storms. That's why storage is very important for those as well. And shuttles as well can't land. So a lot of issues come up with these various disasters. So we're going to have to brace ourselves. 17 hours till it starts, and they can last a very long time. We'll see how things go. The pipes have been built. The dome is almost under construction. And again, we can rename the dome as well. So, you know, maybe we name these after...
Complete. Anomaly analyzed.
Ooh, nice. Maybe we name these after patrons or something like that. Get a nice... Okay, hold on. Let me just check these controls. Okay, new building. Oh, I can actually start building drone hubs as opposed to needing to research them. Or sorry, get prefabs. That makes a huge difference. I don't think I can... don't think I've expressed clearly enough how much of a difference that makes. New utility crops. Oh, actually, that's probably a bigger deal. Okay.
No active research.
Let's go with this. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're not going to change it. Until it's time to, obviously, you know, pick a different one. Let's go with that so we can clean things up a little bit. All right, cool. All right. So we're probably going to wait until after the disaster to call in our rocket. This obviously needs to be finished building as well. These polymers. So no drone can actually transport the polymers from up here all the way down here because there's no overlapping, as you can see, and I don't have a storage depot over here, right? So what I can actually do is I can get my transport here to go in, pick up those polymers, and drop them off down there. What I'll also want to do is actually make this the hub for transition of goods so that, you know, anything extracted up here is deposited here, anything extracted down here is deposited here, and then drones from either of these drone hubs or drone control centers can start sharing the workload, basically. Now, if we've got the polymers stocked up over here, we need to build a polymer depot, either a universal depot or a polymer depot. We're going to go with a polymers one specifically, and let's put just one down. It's not very often that you get polymers until we get those factories built. Right. So again, there's a lot of structures that need to be built outside of the dome, but close enough to the dome so they can be serviced. We'll actually have the rocket land, I think, over here. The rocket will bring some drones of its own as well, and it'll bring a lot of food and things like that. So we want it to be close enough to, again, extend our range, but also supply this colony. We might put the rocket down over here so we have the extra support from these drones as well. And then we can start taking a look at the metals over here. Cool. All right, there's the dust storm. So at this point, you'll really want to make sure that your Stirling generators are closed, that your Moxie, you can see that the Moxie just doesn't work. The moisture vaporator does not work, and it's going to last 2 sols. That's 2 days of these not working. So I'm glad I have my water extractor, which is not going to keep working. That's not good. And I'm glad I have, of course, my storage here as well. Now, we are filled up a little faster than expected. That's okay. Once we get colonists down here, it'll be all right. All right, so 2 buildings not working, of course. Still have a long time before this gets taken care of. This storm here. Oh, wow, great. Meteors as well. Oh, look, see, that meteor came in and it just took out this power cable over here. So you got to keep an eye out for those things as well. Good thing that these guys aren't relying on that power cable, and this is why backups are important. In fact, I might actually bring this cable around.
Meteor shower incoming.
Oh boy. That's a lot of disasters coming in. I might actually want to, oh boy, get this power cable down here as well to have that extra path. And that's why backups are super important, as you can tell already. All right. All right, night is falling. I might want to build a couple lamps, actually. Wouldn't be a terrible idea. Let's get some more metal coming in. So let's get this transport set up here and here. We'll get those colonists landing somewhere over here, so they actually overlap with this drone hub, I think. So we'll drop them over here near the mountains, and the colonists will be able to see the rocket on which they arrived. All right, polymers being dropped off. Concrete, still a lot of concrete needed as well. Come on, you guys, work a little bit faster, will you? That's the limitation of these drones. I could just pick up 45 and bring it right down here. That'd be enough. You know what? Let's do that. Let's drop these metals off. Pick up 45. Basically empty this entire depot out and take that concrete down there. And the thing is, even though the drones are carrying some as well and I'll have extra, you actually need to build things inside the dome as well, and that requires concrete and metal and all that stuff. So that's fine. We'll take this. Oh my god. Holy crap. Glad I didn't destroy anything. Jeez, it's almost over. Almost over. One more day of it, basically. And then the meteor storm's gonna start in an hour. Yikes. Alright, let's drop these resources off over here. And these drones will then be able to work. Let's get the RC rover down here as well, helping with construction. And this has malfunctioned as well. Something needs to take electronics down south. So let's get the transport to bring those electronics down south here so it can actually keep these drones working. Alright, good here. Might want to actually make the universal hub over here as well, just so there's that overlap. And you can see now that I've put this down over here, that drone was able to just rotate multiple times. And now we've got our basic dome under construction. Here it comes. Watch the meteor storm just wipes it out. It's already started. 17 hours of the dust storm.
Resources are low.
Resources are low. We're low on polymers. Yeah, of course, because we're building the dome now. We're going to need polymers very soon. All right, there you are. Let's get these electronics dropped off. Right over here. All right. This rover's drones and the drones from the drone hub are going to help me out. Now, you'll notice we've achieved a milestone. There are a lot of milestones. They all give you points. And that's how you win the game, I guess, if that's your MO. Now, within the dome itself, we actually need to build some stuff, as I was mentioning earlier. So we would like some living quarters. You have the option of apartments. They come over later, and they require quite a few resources, so we wouldn't be able to get them now. Anyway, let's get these living quarters going. Again, let's have their backs. Let's keep them as far away from all this construction crap, right? So we're not going to need more than one set of living quarters here. That'll house enough people for that first drop that we have, the founders, who will prove to Earth that I have in fact made a colony that is safe to live in. We're going to build a nursery and playground. Hopefully we're going to have some kids happening soon. But what we really need is, all right, so we need an infirmary to make sure people are healthy, right? It's always a good idea. Let's get this going over here. We're also going to need, well, maybe let's do this in the right order here. Let's get a farm going, because without a farm, there is no food. Only needs some concrete, and it produces food. It takes a huge amount of space, though, as you can see, these sectors. Let's get it right over here, and what we'll do is we'll get the farm right next to these living quarters, and we're going to get a diner. Just so these guys can feel a little bit more fancy, you know, like, you need to have recreation in your domes as well. You need to have, like, if you have nerds coming, they need to be able to game, for which you need an electronics store. So it's pretty interesting in that way that you actually have to worry about these various features and facets within the domes as well. So let's actually get a grocer at the corner over here, because I think that makes more sense. And let's get ourselves that diner next to the infirmary, so you can get absolutely plastered, and then you can go visit the doc when you're not feeling too well. All right, I think that's enough to get us started, and have a happy, somewhat sustainable dome over here. We've got food coming from the farm, hopefully. The rocket will also bring some of its own. We've got a grocer, we've got a diner, we've got an infirmary. That should be good enough to kick things off. We'll build this water reclamation system when we eventually get enough polymers. That won't be for a little while, though. And you know what? Let's get a nice statue going over here. Where can we build a statue? We'll probably be able to plant one in the middle over there, actually. Let's get a statue there. Excellent. Beautiful. For the glory of the colony, right? That is dedicated to the first colonist that makes it through the doors when they arrive. Now, that meteor storm's going to last a while. This thing is going to be repaired soon. Look how slowly this thing is moving. All right, speed it up. Glad that's an option. All right, this thing will be repaired, and all of these drones will come to life as soon as that repair work is completed. There we go. Boom, look at that. They've come to life, and now we're going to get working at full speed. That storm is still active, still knocking these things out. Thankfully, I don't actually need oxygen or water right now, but that could be pretty bad. These things are still full. I might need to build another one of these. I might want to build another one of these, rather. Otherwise, we're just wasting daylight. Can't waste daylight like that. All right, couple of machine parts over here. Living quarters have already been built. I don't think we need machine parts for anything down here. Just some metals. We have access to all that stuff. Beautiful. Beautiful. Let's get extraction happening still for these metals up here. I'm still a little nervous that we haven't found any depot. Look at that. Look at the lightning, the meteor shower is absolutely insane. I think that stuff looks gorgeous. All right, let's get the RC Explorer here looking at this, taking a bit of a chance there. Might get struck by the meteor, but again, what's life without a couple risks, right? That's what I said when we started this colony, when we chose the destination, and here we are now, suffering under multiple multiple disasters at the same time. Now, this rocket is actually ready to leave. If we can fill it up with enough exports here, the rare metals, and we can fill it up with enough fuel, and because of our sponsor, we actually generate fuel automatically, we can send this off to go back to Earth, and, oh, it's going to be a slow, oh, I wanted to slow it down. Well, we saw it happen.
Incoming.
Wait, where? Oh my god, look at that. This guy's an absolute hero. Look at this guy. Look at this guy just standing there. He does not give a damn. We know there are meteors coming, but he's got a job to do. He's researching this anomaly. And the meteors are kind of taking their time here. I was hoping they'd come a little bit faster. A little bit faster. Oh, there we go. And another one? Soon. Soon, it's almost here. And look at that, you can see our colony off in the distance. I just love some of the vistas that this game provides are absolutely gorgeous. Anyway, let's not waste any more time. There it is. Oof, boy. Still alive, still alive. That's what matters. So, I think we're ready to order our next rocket, but I don't want this one to leave just yet. I don't know if I want it to leave at all. It gives us a nice zone of control for these drones. Of course, I can put down a drone hub, but it's a nice home base, you know, it's a sentimental value, right? Anyway, let's get another rocket on the way. We finally found some metal all the way over here. That's actually not too terrible. We can use tunnels to make it easier to reach these, and tunnels, they're basically teleportation boxes. If I can find, there we go, the tunnel, are very expensive, especially when it comes to machine parts. So maybe we should bring some machine parts with us so we have access to these 600 pieces of metal. But let's take a look at the rocket. It's going to be a passenger rocket, and what you can do here is you can actually pick exactly who and what you would like to come or not. So we don't want any children coming, we don't want any seniors coming. In fact, I don't even want any middle-aged people coming. Youth and adult is great because these are going to be able to work, and I need these guys to come here and I need them to work. So that's good. Let's go back. Specialization. I'd like some botanists for sure because these guys will help grow those farms successfully. And let's also get ourselves a medic or two. And again, this doesn't directly affect what we're going to get. I'm not saying what I do or don't want. This just increases the likelihood of someone coming or not coming. So I think that's okay. If we specialize too much, then we drop under the actual number of matching colonists. So let's not overdo it. And we're fine having men and women and others all coming aboard. Because something I want is this sexy trait. And that's because these guys will increase the birth rate if they're sexy. So Definitely want that to happen. I wouldn't mind a couple workaholics as well. That's always helpful. Unfortunately, there are no geniuses available. And, let's, Oh, they'll never commit suicide. Okay, I was worried that religious meant they would commit suicide. So that's fine. I don't think there's anything that I don't want over here. There's another page as well, by the way, just so you can see. You know what? Let's get some party animals. I'm party elite. Let's get some party animals. And flaws, I want to avoid idiots. I want to avoid people with chronic conditions. Lazy people are not welcome. Whiners are not welcome. I don't need cowards. I need bold people. No alcoholics, please. And you can see the matching colonist number reduces significantly. No gluttons either. We can't... Oh, eats double rations. Yeah, we can't afford that just yet. We're not self-sustaining enough to avoid that. As for quirks, no tourists, please. They just come and leave. Vegans, don't worry, they'll tell you. I actually hadn't seen that before. And then gurus, they spread traits, which is not bad actually, especially if they're positive traits. So let's try and get some gurus in there. And that's that. That is our passenger ship trust number 1. What we're gonna call it? Party 2. Oh no, it's a passenger. Party people 1. You know, gotta separate the drones, the cargo ships from the rocket ships. We can rename these. Let me know if you guys have any suggestions, or again, we can name our domes and stuff after patrons. Now, it will take some time for the rocket, as you can see over here, to actually fly over to Mars, so we can get them to land. And I'm hoping that I've timed this correctly, so that we're going to have the farm built. It looks like we will, and we're also going to have the infirmary and diner ready to go by the time that rocket is ready to land. So everything is set up over here. We've got the drone hub going back and forth. We've got the metal extraction going on over here, and hopefully we can bring some machine parts with us soon in the next cargo ship. So you do have to be careful about what you're bringing and when, because passenger ships obviously cannot carry cargo outside of what's necessary for oh no, this one's malfunctioned. Crap. All right, we got to get our drone, our RC rover out here, try and fix this buddy out, or to avoid some of the meteors. 9 hours left. Well, all right, you know what? Let's stay close to home for now.
Cable fault reported.
Help with the construction over here. Stay close to home for now, and as soon as the meteor shower is over, we need to go and fix that situation. Some drone's going to take care of this, not a problem, that's okay. We've got a fair amount of energy stored up. Fair amount. We've got a lot of water stored up as well, so that when these colonists arrive, they're not going to start dying right away. Or, who knows, maybe they will. But it looks like we're going to have to wait until next session to find that out, because we've gone a little bit over that hour mark that I like to stick these Let's Plays to. Let me know what you guys would like. Would you want these to be live streams? Those are a little bit harder for me to do. Hour-long episodes, half-hour-long episodes. And I'd like to get this going, or I'd like to keep this going, rather, especially with name suggestions from you guys. As I said, we can actually rename the dome, so maybe we name these after patrons, or if, you know, if any Patreon subscribers or sponsors, or if I end up on Twitch subs will be able to name these, or let's just take suggestions from the comments below. Either way, guys, join us on the Discord, follow me on Twitter, etc., smash the like, but you know, all the usual stuff. Just let me know if you're having a good time. It's always helpful. Lets me know that I should keep something going, or if I should stop it. I'm personally very excited for this game, so I will be playing Surviving Mars. The only difference is, will I be playing it on the channel or not? And you guys are the ones who will determine that. I'll definitely be playing until release, at least. Trying to get a couple episodes out here and there, and I have a bit of a starter tips video going as well. Just to help anybody out who's going to get this game when it releases as opposed to beforehand. Thank you guys very much for joining. We're going to save this game out in this current state. Let's pause it to make sure things don't skip ahead. That Party People 1 rocket is almost here. We're going to land it over here. We're going to fill up this this dome. We're going to start mining some valuable metals over here. And hopefully the next rocket will bring with it some machine parts so we can get a tunnel going and be fully self-sustaining with a metal extraction zone going on over here. That would be extremely helpful. Anyways, guys, thank you very much for watching. Hope you had a good time. Let me know what you think about Surviving Mars. Let me know if you're excited for the game yourself. Let me know if you're planning on getting it, or if not, why, how, when, etc. Until next time, though, as always, from the Red Planet, I bid you farewell and cheers.